Okay, South Africa have failed to win the final ODI against Bangladesh. Bangladesh have made history. They've won for the first time on South African soil a series in South Africa. So well done to them. A very good performance from South Africa. I mean, from Bangladesh, they completely dominated South Africa in every facet of the game. We're talking about bowling, fielding, batting, tactics, mentality, everything, completely. And it's mainly because of two dominating wins in Centurion, and that has obviously been the determining factor to see Bangladesh over the line with a very dominant win, 9 wickets in this final third ODI win. So fantastic performance from Bangladesh. We're obviously going to dissect it and talk about it because South Africa were completely and utterly poor in this particular match. I mean, I haven't seen them play this badly in an ODI in some time now. Very poor performance from the South Africa's supposedly strongest 11. I think it was a very poor performance from South Africa, and they need to look at themselves. They need to look at themselves, obviously. And Boucher's now lost to Pakistan away. He's now lost to Bangladesh at home. He's lost the ODI to Ireland. Pavuma too, as captain, needs to be looked at from a performance perspective. I think he hasn't necessarily come to the party with a bat in this particular series. He was good in the last one, of course. He did well in the couple. I mean, you can't average 48 in the amount of games he's played and not be decent, at least. So I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come hard for Bavuma on this particular stream and every single stream that we talk about, but everybody from 1 to 7 was completely useless with the bat today. Also, game management was pathetic. I'm not very impressed with the Proteas men's, particularly their game management, particularly looking at situations and knowing when to come in order and when not to, when to hold certain players back and all of those things. So I'm going to chat about that on the show today. You guys can call in as well. The link is in the live chat. I will give you guys a cue on when I will be taking calls. I'm first going to give a quick summary of everything that happened to give you guys, to those that haven't watched it, then they can get a quick overview of what happened in the game. But if you're new to this channel and it's the first time that you're here and that button is still red, click it and click the notification bell for all future videos. But also don't forget to smash the like button, comment, and share, and do all of those things too. That's how we get into algorithms. That's how we rank better as well on social media and everything. So please go ahead and do so too on YouTube. That's how we rank on YouTube as well. But also get involved with Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as the description. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight into today's video. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid Maiden. This is the show where we talk about South Africa's 3-0 win against Bangladesh. Nope. 2-1 defeat against Bangladesh in the series. Completely and utterly rubbish. Completely, utterly rubbish. I can't really defend them. There's no defending. I can't be sitting here and being hypocritical. I need to give them criticism where it's due, and their criticism is definitely due right over here. This particular performance was absolutely disgusting. The strike rotation, nowhere. The farming of strike when it was needed, nowhere. The ability to be able to score, to find scoring options. I mean, it was just a pathetic performance from South Africa. And I don't understand how you can go into a game like this and put on a performance like they did. I mean, the worst ever total against Bangladesh. First time ever that they've beaten South Africa in a series. It's embarrassing. And I'm not going to sit here and defend anybody. Everybody needs to be criticized. 100%. Keshav can get a little bit of praise for the way he batted there at the end, maybe. running himself out unnecessarily, of course. No need for that. But ultimately, everybody, I'm even going to go hard at maybe someone like Yanaman Malan, who I think needed to put his foot down and really bat through the innings. He had the balls under and the time at the crease to be able to do so. And he goes out on 39, playing a shot, no hectic foot movement, playing a shot. What that wasn't necessarily needed. How many times are we going to be doing and speaking about this? But Vuma was poor, worst batter in the lineup today. He's been poor this whole entire series. We've seen flashes of it. He didn't really perform really well today. Doesn't mean I'm going to be calling for his head. That's just stupid, because then in that logic, then everybody should be dropped, because there hasn't been a consistency in from anybody, including the likes of Quinton Cock and the likes of the rest of the batters in this lineup, like David Miller, etc. Although in this series, David Miller deserves to get some credit for the way he's played. Today, he had no excuses. He came into the setup. He came into the situation with a lot of overs to get himself in and take the team forward. He came into the situation like that, and he had balls to work with, and yet there were still batters like Dwayne Pretorius came in and was seeing majority of the ball, scoring majority of the runs, and he came in after David Miller, and those situations shouldn't be happening. Game management is nowhere, and I don't understand how we cannot be managing the games correctly. That the senior and more senior batters don't take a control of the match and say, look here, I'm going to make sure that I farm the strike here and make sure that I take all the runs. And yes, it's by the time there's so much runs in so many overs and balls left in the match that you don't want to think about farming the strike at that time. But I still do believe that if you are in a situation where you have so much overs available and you're the senior batter in the team, you should be farming the strike and making sure that you face majority of the balls. When David Miller's wicket fell, Keshav Maharaj did it. So why can't our batters do it? Now we're going to be sitting in a situation that we might not even qualify for the World Cup without playing qualifiers, which South Africa should never be in that situation. Now I'm going to show you what the log is looking at right now. Yes, we played against Bangladesh, who was sitting handsomely on the top by quite a distance, doing very well from their perspective. Only 6 matches lost, and they won a total of 12 matches in 18 matches played. They played way more matches than majority of the teams over here, but they're sitting quite pretty at the top of the table. We go to play England next in their conditions. Now, I don't know how South Africa feel about playing the moving ball, because today it looked like our batters really struggled against that moving ball. And it has been looking like we've been struggling against the moving ball for quite some time now. And we need to find a way out to bat against that, because we need the points in England. There shouldn't be excuses with regards to that. And like I said, this team doesn't deserve the luxury of having the choice to pick to play for your country or not. At this particular time, you shouldn't have that luxury when we are this crap, when we're playing this poorly. I'm sorry, that's just from my point of view and my opinion. Guys, just remember that the views on this particular channel is my views and not the views of Cricket Fanatics Magazine, just before I get into trouble for getting a little bit hectic in my criticism. I was very disappointed, and I feel very let down by this performance. Really hoping that the woman can come to the party later on tonight. Aditya, before we get the callers on, I just want to get your views. I mean, you covered the first innings of this particular game when South Africa were batting. So, what are your thoughts?
And I'm just coming off Temba Bavuma's press conference, which I can't really talk about because it's embargoed till 7 a.m. tomorrow. So I'm not really going to talk about that. But I do know what Boucher said in his press conference as well. But all in all, I think if there's one thing that, if there are
Please
two
enlighten
things that
us.
I'd like to.
Oh, what is?
I'm sorry?
Please let us know what he said if it does fall into your points, please.
Yes, yes. Um, well, I think there are two things that I want to say. One is that this performance was shocking for a game in which South Africa won the toss and was expected to score north of 300, which Boucher indicated in his press conference, by the way. He said that South Africa should have scored over 300 on this pitch. And my second point is that Faf du Plessis has still not retired from white ball cricket. This performance was, I don't
Say
want
it like it
I,
is. Shit. It
you
was
know
shit. Say it like it
I
is.
taking nothing away from Bangladesh, I think they were phenomenal. They were clinical. Prior to this series, Lungengiri told us um, that Temba Bavuma wanted the team to be clinical. Well, Bangladesh showed how to be clinical. And today, on a pitch where South Africa should have scored over 300 runs, to have them all out for 154 was a phenomenal performance. And we can take nothing away from the way Taskin bowled. Absolutely brilliant. And sure, the ball, it swings a little bit in ODI cricket, but this is nearly nowhere close to what South Africa have faced and succeeded in Test cricket. So
Mhm.
it shouldn't really be a problem. And you look at the strike rates of everyone in that, even Yanuman Malan, they started off well. Yanuman and Quinny had a decent start, but they were still striking at, around the 50-60 mark. And you look at the rest of the batting lineup as well. Obviously, once you lose a few wickets, uh, it's not really gonna be a game of strike rates. Then you want to score as many runs as you can. But for a pitch uh, that should have been more batting friendly than the South Africans showed us. This this was poor, and uh, Mark Barger was talking about intent. The fact that South Africa were not. There was a fear of failure, and they didn't really uh, show as much intent as they should have. They weren't aggressive enough. You know, all of these things are there, but I don't know. It's like, how do you come from beating India 3-0 in similar conditions, or perhaps equally challenging conditions, and then, but I don't even want to say equally challenging conditions. I think it was more challenging to beat India in Paul and Cape Town, compared to Centurion here, where you could expect to score 320, 330, and to come in here and lose like that is, I mean, beyond unacceptable. Look at the way Tommy McPaul batted. He was brilliant.
Mm.
87 of 82 balls, remained unbeaten at the end. Yeah, it's challenging, and this is one of those things, right, where South Africa are just making life a lot more difficult for themselves. But this was a series that they were expected to win, and they should have, because now they've got India, England, and Australia to beat, and the Netherlands. How's that going to happen? Are you really able to climb that mountain of beating India, who will want to take some sort of revenge for what's happened earlier this year? England is We know what England are as a white ball team. They're phenomenal. They're going to go all guns blazing from ball 0 to ball 300. And Australia, a very strong white ball team also. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a massive challenge ahead for South Africa, and it's going to take a lot to get out of this hole.
Yeah, we were poor in every single department. As simple as that. Fielding, batting, bowling. I don't know. I don't like to sit here and talk about it. Let me just get the fans on the show and let them have a say. Because I'm really still wrapping my head around everything. We've got Suhail with us. Welcome to the show, brother. What would you like to say?
Hey, hi, hi Khalid, hi Aditya. I'm from Lucknow, India.
Welcome.
So thank you so much, Khalid. So yeah, obviously I'm pretty disappointed with the way South Africa played. But I've a few more concerns. Now going forward, they've lost against a home series against Bangladesh. Then that's done and dusted. Let's start with Yaneman Malan. He reminds me of a little bit, I might be wrong, but of a certain opening batsman South Africa used to have in Boita Dippenaar. Because of the kind of approach he has, he starts quick, but then in the middle overs, when the field is a bit spread out, he struggles with the rotation of strike. Now, Rassi van der Dussen used to have that similar problem very initially in his career, because of which I had doubts about him for the T20 World Cup. But he had release shots, and then he added the reverse sweep, the sweep to his game, and he came good. So Yanimal Malan, and right after Yanimal Malan comes Kyle Verena, who is again a very good batsman, and he will come good in the future. And then Temba Bavuma. I just somehow end up feeling that there's just too many anchors floating in the middle. I wouldn't probably call Rasi as an anchor because he has had the ability to really strike big, and he has a few release shots of his own so that the pressure can be relieved. But I'm just not able to say the same for Yaneman Malan, then Kyle Verena, and then Temba Bavuma. Not taking anything away from them. I mean, Yaneman Malan is a fantastic cricketer and fantastic batsman. He will come good sometime in the future. So will Kyle Verena, and Temba Bavuma's batting average in the ODIs proves that he's pretty good. But as a collective, as a unit, who'd go up against the likes of Australia and England in a bilateral series, sometime in the future, how would we look at this middle order competing against the likes of Jason Roy, who would just fancy hitting a six, right from the get go, Johnny Best, or people like that. And so that is a bit worrying for me at the moment. I'm a little bit concerned about that at the moment. Bowling, yeah, obviously, and Aditya has mentioned this, that South Africa needs to really look at their bowling depths. When your top order bowlers are not available for some reason, who will replace them? But today, I think the way Bangladesh played, they were also ahead by how spirited their bowling was. So it showed in Tamim's batting as well. But right now, my concern is too many anchors in the middle. Yaneman's incapability to be able to really rotate the strike, because I was listening to the commentary and somewhere they mentioned that out of the, I believe, 15 or 16 games that he has played, in the first 8 games, he was averaging 100, and then it came down to 60, which is still pretty good. But then again, is it possible that other teams have sort of found out the thing with Yaneman Malan where he gets stuck in the middle, and he does not really have a release shot? Because he was, 54 balls. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go on.
I think specifically on slower wickets, Yanaman Malan struggles. Spinners, if the ball is moving on slower tracks as well, the slower deliveries, he doesn't really pick out the slower deliveries very well. He has this unbelievable power to be able to hit the ball, and it flies to the boundary, as we can see, block shots going for the boundary. But I think what Yanaman needs to add to his game is maybe a little bit of deft touches to help him rotate strikes, just to get him off the strike when he's feeling a little bit of pressure. If he can find that scoring option consistently, I think it will take his game to the next level, because then at least when he is struggling, he can get himself out of the fire. Because Quinton de Kock, against majority of bowlers, he is good if he's on song. You never know. You don't know what Quinton de Kock's weakness is ultimately, because sometimes he can play gloriously against spin, and then other times he looks like he's never had a spin mat in his life. So it's weird. It's a difficult situation. But I think that what they need to do is they need to find consistency, particularly in their batting lineup. They are chopping and changing personnel that are not easily interchangeable. It's completely different players that they are switching around, and then there's no clear roles for each individual in that top 5, top 6. And currently, I think that's South Africa's problem. I mean, firing Aiden Markram will solve a lot of problems in this top order. We know that,
yes.
But unfortunately, he's not available.
It's pretty sad, because I like the look of Temba. He looks very assured against spin. He's someone who runs very quickly between the wickets. He's a gun fielder. He's a gun runner between the wickets, sorted in that area. So I have no doubts that these people will actually come good. All three of them, the middle order that they're going with at the moment, Yaneman Malan, Kyle Verena, and Temba Bavuma. But my problem, what I'm a little bit worried about is right now, what are they going to do? Will there be a massive improvement in their techniques or in how they play the middle overs? Because I believe also earlier when Kyle Verena in the previous game had played really well, he was able to rotate the strike. Although I still feel that they sort of lack the fluency that is required. So South Africa is in a way sorted in terms of openers. You have Quinton de Kock, Pandora's box. You don't really know what you're going to get. But if he comes good, you're pretty much sitting on top of the other team. You're going to win. in
Yeah.
most situations. I even liked Dwayne Pretorius' batting while he was still there, but it was a very rash shot to get out to. And but yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not so sure as to what the way forward is. Aditya mentioned that Faf du Plessis has not retired from white ball cricket yet. So yeah, considering, imagine Faf du Plessis batting in place of Kyle Verena at number three changes everything. Changes a lot, to be honest. But I'm a huge fan of Aiden Markram because I have seen what he can do.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think South
Yeah,
Africa
true.
really missed. I don't really have a lot of questions as such, but I just basically wanted to share my concern because I've been a huge fan of South African cricket since
Yeah.
1999 World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, the show is about you guys giving your opinions. You don't have to ask us questions. You can just come on and literally just give your opinion, and that's what it's about. We can rebuttal it and argue. Sometimes maybe I'll argue with you. I like a debate now and again. So, but generally speaking, it's about you guys giving your opinion. And thank you a lot for giving your opinion on the show. Thank you, Sohail. I hope you come on again in the future. We have to move on to the next caller. Okay, cool. Ashwani, we here with you. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you doing? What would you like to say?
Hello, Khalid. Hello, Aditya. Yeah, it's very disappointing South Africa's result. I would want to say I expect this from Bangladesh because sole reason is that because the difference between the both team is the intent. I think intent of Bangladesh team is I can give you the example. If you look at the Bangladesh sports staff, it is filled with all of the South African players, like of Russell Dominico, Alan Donald, Albie Morkel. So they are cleared with the intent they want to do well in South Africa. So I would say you should also give credit to Bangladesh. They played phenomenally in South African conditions. Plus that win against New Zealand in Test, which is more difficult task than winning ODI series in South Africa, which gives them the confidence to do well in the foreign conditions. I think the rise of Bangladesh cricket is for me because I watching Bangladesh cricket from around 20 years. I think they invested heavily on youth cricket. I think the coaches like Chandika Hathura Singhe, Jamie Siddons, Richard Pivers, even Wasim Jaffer from India, Jamie Siddons, who is also their coach in 2011 World Cup, now is their batting director, then Ashwal Prince. So I think they heavily invested on their youth and bring lot of foreign coaches to train their young kids. I think I will give credit to Bangladesh uh, for this massive development from youth cricket to senior cricket. You also see that to perform well in 2020 World Cup where they beat India in the finals. So I think it's not a shocking result for me because I saw their recent development from youth cricket to senior cricket. In Bangladesh, there is an academy called BKSP. So in that academy, I think around 8 players which played in the 2020 World Cup, which Bangladesh won. Uh, from that academy, 8 players are out. So you can saw they're gradually they're working on their youth. I think in that department they are even better than India in setting up youth because of course India is winning the World Cup, no doubt about that. They are winning under 19 World Cup 5 or 6 times, but I think the how they nurtured the youth, Bangladesh is one level up than all the subcontinent teams. I think one of the best, I will say, in the breeding ground for the trained youth cricketers. Coming to South Africa, I think South Africa have to find out the white ball cricketers which suitable for that aggressors roles. The players are, I can say that they are equally talented. There is no you can say that no bad in them. They lose in Bangladesh against Bangladesh, but I think they need to churn out between which is their better white ball cricketer or which one is better for red ball cricket. So they have to find out in that aspect. In the coming series, what they lack, I think they have to uh, up Rassi Van Anderson to number three, Kyle Verene to five. They can use that ploy to give them more batting balance. Plus, I think they need, because there is ongoing One Day Cup is there. South Africa need to find out the players which can give them multi-skilled options. The like of George Linde, I am very surprising why he's not in the limited oversize. I think he can play the role in future like Ravinder Jadeja and Shakib Al Hasan done for India and Bangladesh respectively. They have to fight some multiple cricketers and the guy who can equally floating the innings and play power game equally. So they have to find that. So 2-3 option in my mind, which I think South Africa can use. One is you can say that I don't remember it. George Lind is one of the well, and 2-3 options like that guy which selected in the Mumbai Indian squad. If he can perform well, South Africa can try him in the at least in the T20s. So
David
I would
Davis.
say South Africa need to get the balance between white and red ball cricket. In white ball, they are in similar stage what India lacks. They lacks that finisher power, and I am very disappointed with David Miller as well. I think David Miller playing around 12 years, but I think he don't perform that consistently, which I expected from him. So as South Africa need to find out that mojo between white and red ball cricket.
AD, do you want to add anything?
Well, I agree with everything that Shwani and Sohail had to say.
One thing
But-
extra I want to say. I think South Africa had to invested their youth cricket, much like Bangladesh. They had to bring their star players like Hashim Amla, Jack Callis, even Dale Steyn, and bring Alan Donald to South Africa as well. Because other teams get benefited from your star players, why your own country can't get benefited from them? That's it.
I mean,
Okay, thanks,
it's-
Oshwani.
It's a massive conversation, right? Like with respect to structure and which players to recruit in your coaching staff and so on. Because technically, if you look at the South African coaching staff right now, you've got Boucher, who's an all-time South African great. You've got Justin Ontong, who's one of South Africa's best ever fielders. You've got Charles Langeveld, who's also a fantastic bowler. And to give them credit, the bowling's been solid, right? Take away COVID out of that picture and the lack of match practice and so on. But when South Africa fired, they really fired. So it's tough to pinpoint, as to what really went wrong for South Africa. And again, like I said, I can't really talk about what Timber said in his press conference, but surely there's got to be some harsh conversations that will be happening now, I'd imagine, because South Africa under serious pressure. And will this have an effect on the Test series? Perhaps that can be the topic of another show, but one would imagine that can happen, right? Because your first choice players, a lot of your first choice players are not going to be that Test series. So South Africa actually going in there with less confidence than they would have expected, and Bangladesh, on the other hand, will be buoyed by what they've achieved here.
Yeah, luckily it's a whole different team almost. That's going to be playing in the Test series. Okay, we're going to bring on the next caller. We've got Harshit waiting for us. Welcome to the show, Harshit. What would you like to say, brother? Hello.
Hello.
How's it? What would you
Are
like to
you
say?
audible, Bhaiya?
I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah, you're good, mate. We can hear you.
Temba Bavuma become captain.
Bro, I can't hear you. You're breaking up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to bring on the next caller. We've got Keithan with us. Welcome to the show, brother. You normally talk some sense into us. What would you like to say?
Hey, hi Khalid, hi Aditya. Thanks for having me. Am I audible, guys? Yep. It was very disappointing to for South Africa to lose it, especially after thumping 3-0 victory against India. Like Timber said, nobody knows why it has happened. Like they've lost to Bangladesh, they won against India. But one thing that comes to my mind when I think about this is when they were playing against India. Uh, the Proteas or the audience as like people like us didn't have confidence that they would beat India. So it was as if we were trying to compete with India, but then because of the nature of them not being confident enough to beat India, they were able to beat India. And even in the New Zealand series, if you see, they lost the first Test match, and then because they were spirited as they lost the first Test match, and then they went ahead and won the second one, right? So I thought there was a level of complacency when they were trying to play Bangladesh. They were thinking that they were going to get 3-0 against Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is no small side anymore like it was before. So even they lost to Ireland before Ireland, right? If I'm not wrong, about 6 months or 8 months ago. It was this nature of them thinking they can beat this particular opposition to an extent easily. They would definitely come out and say, we are not taking any complacency here. But it sounded as if they were when Lungi was saying in the press conference before the series that they were expecting a 3-0. So that sort of complacency would, I guess, didn't does not get the most out of you, I believe, right? They lost the first ODI, they cracked up the second one because they now thought, okay, now we have got to win this. Now after winning the second ODI, they were like, okay, man, we've got an easy win in the second one. So they believe that the first one was just a fluke that they lost, and they can easily beat Bangladesh again. So I sort of believe it's somewhere mental aspect of the uh, team that is affecting them, because I see each one of the players that is playing is a quality one, and I completely love Temba. People talking about Temba being not performing, I do not believe that. I think he's the one who's getting the team together, irrespective of his own performances. You need Temba, the leader, especially now when you're losing, because I rate him very highly as a leader, and he's not that bad too as a batsman in a white ball cricket. So I think the team is well set up. I like the 11 that played today. The only thing I think is missed is somebody like Aiden Markram. I know he's not performing, but somebody like Aiden Markram who can be the aggressive number 4 or number 5 batsman who can also bowl little. If you have somebody who can do that, then great. And probably George Linde. So I do not think there a lot of changes need to be made. It's just that the consistency and the mental aspect of the team that they could attain this consistency is needed. It has to come from the coaches, or I don't know how it would happen, but no panic is needed in my opinion. They just have to be more consistent, I believe. They're a solid team. They beat India. I mean, like Indian, it's not easy to beat India. And I believe whoever opposition that is that Proteas is playing, they'll give equal amount of today they might lose to Bangladesh. Tomorrow they might win against Australia 3-0 again. It wouldn't be a surprise. That's what Proteas do, right? And the next time they might lose to Ireland again, right? So it's not that the team or the talent is not there. It's just that somewhere mentally, like Aiden Markram gets out, it's playing a stupid shot. The talent that he is, he should not be doing that. Similarly, the Proteas team is also losing out on these matches wherein you know it doesn't make sense, I believe. So that's what I think. It's just a mental aspect of it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Keithan, for coming on the show. I think that's an excellent point there, Aditya. We'll speak to you again, brother. Thank you. That mental aspect is the aspect that I feel is missing. You can't be so good in one match and then so crap in another match and say that it's if they were consistently crap, I can understand, but they're not. That's the problem. Yeah, we're not consistently shit, so we can't really necessarily continuously find ways on improving necessarily because we don't even know where to improve. Like I'm looking at this team and I'm like, I don't even know where we should improve. I know that they're struggling against seam and swing, but is it always the case? like I'm myself confused. And I can just imagine what it is like in that coaching staff. Let's bring on another caller. We've got Azan waiting for us. Welcome to the show, brother. What would you like to say? And he is gone. Okay, we've got Timothy. Welcome to the show, Timothy. What would you like to say?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Khalid and Adya. Like I've been following your show. I'm calling from Kerala, from India. Okay,
Wow.
so I'm a huge SA supporter, supporting them from '99 World Cup. But this performance has to be, cannot be accepted. Like SA cricket, whether it is even SAC team, should beat Bangladesh. Like it shouldn't be an excuse. Like this is unacceptable, really. Like if India lose to Bangladesh, what would be the situation? Maybe Aditya might be knowing it better. So I can just highlight a few issues. Like the first ODI, what I felt is that the selection was poor. Like I'm a huge Aiden Markham fan, but he needs a break. He needs a break. It's clear and visible, like his performance in test and ODIs. Yeah, it's two different formats, but he needs a break. We all know what he can do. What Adam Markram can do, we all know against the Australia, first series which he debuted against, that Australia series, the Bangladesh series, the test series which he scored runs at, and the Australia series. We all know how good a player he is, but now he needs a break. But that selection was a big, it is like breaking his career. He needs a break and go back to domestic cricket. And then the other issue I had in the first ODI, which SA got wrong, is the Andile Pekwayo all-rounder slot. Like he's bowling average, and he's not even batting. 13 balls, he couldn't even rotate a strike. Like that was no,
Very poor.
he's yeah, that was very poor. Like SA cricket has so many better players than him. So what they did is, and they dropped them both, and the second ODI, SA, in the pink ODI, SA played brilliant. Yeah, they were brilliant. Like Dickok gave a good start and all those things. And the other issue in the third ODI in this game, what I felt is that when we analyze the players, Janaman Malan, he got a start, and then, like this point was raised earlier, he's struggling in the middle part. I don't know whether teams are working him out or not, but he needs to find a way. He's a good player, no doubt about it, but he needs to find a way. Then Quinton de Kock, I don't know what is like one innings he plays a very brilliant knock, and the other one he's just average. Like what I compared him with Rohit Sharma of India. Like I had this thing, but he has never reached that level. Rohit Sharma, also in the beginning, he had the same issue. Like he will get starts and he will not convert it. But now Rohit Sharma, maybe because of the IPL duties and all those time, he's a really good player. No, but Dickok hasn't reached that level. See that potential in Dickok, but he's just not reaching that level. So maybe someone needs to talk to him. Maybe a coach or his domestic coach or his IPL coach. Someone needs to talk to him, and he needs to convert his starts. You cannot. He's a match winner. His innings can win you a match on the day. Then the other issue with this, that now the main player in form is Rasif Anderson. He shouldn't be coming at number 5. He should come at 4. I don't know why the selectors are making him to come at 5. He should come at 4. That is, AB was our best player. He came at 4. Presently in this team, it is Rasi, and he needs to come at 4. Temba needs to come at 3. And maybe Kyle Varane needs to come at 5. I don't know. Temba, why is it he gave that number 3 slot? Temba has been moving all over the slot. I don't understand. He was opening, he was coming 1 down. Now he's coming 2 down. So there needs to be a fixed pattern for that. And then the other issue, what I felt is that we are playing Keshav Maharaj in all matches, irrespective of the pitch, or is it because he's being the vice captain that he's playing? I don't understand. Because George Linde is a better ODI prospect than Maharaj, what I feel. Maharaj is a containing bowler, yes, good. But against good quality batting lineups, Maharaj may be attacked. So if we are playing 2 spinners, it should be Linde and Shamsi, according to me. And it shouldn't be Maharaj. Maharaj, yes, he has a good cricketing brain. He's a very level-headed guy. Yes, he will try. He will give you a best. Yes, in test, I can agree. But in ODIs, leaving out Shamsi for Maharaj in the first ODI really was, I didn't understand the logic behind that. And the other point I need to raise is that SA needs to pick players who are performing. Like this guy Ryan Rickleton, he has been performing, and now he was released today. So what message is it giving to the other performing guys, players in the domestic system? I don't understand. And I follow the Springbok rugby also. In Springbok rugby, they pick players who are performing overseas also. But in in SA cricket, that reluctance is there to pick players who are performing outside. Like Aditya mentioned about Faf, he hasn't retired. Why is SA cricket reluctant to pick him? I don't understand the reason. He says he's available to. He has the intention to play. He says he's still available for South Africa, and now SA is failing miserably against Bangladesh. Why not? Yeah, it is. I know he's 37. I know his age is not on his side, but if you have a good guy who's willing to perform, age shouldn't be considered. I don't know why is that mental block they have to talk with Faf and engage him to, especially with the World Cup in the next year. So that is one thing. And then the other query, the other issue, what I felt is that this IPL is very near the corner. I'm just concerned whether the players' mind weren't correct at this for this series, especially the IPL bound players. Even Bauma was telling that in the interview before the series, they have had this confusion: which players are going, which players are leaving, and all those things. So maybe that also played an effect to this 2-1 loss. And the last but not the least, I feel a bit of complacency was also there after winning that drawing that test series against New Zealand. Like everyone was expecting, even the players, like Ngidi said in the interview that we want to win 3-0. Bangladesh has improved so much. You cannot underestimate them. Maybe they expected they will easily win this series with this playing 11 without applying their mind. Maybe that was also the issue what I felt.
Oh,
So not
100%.
not wholesale changes. And also Bauma, what the one thing I want to tell about Bauma is that he is a good captain. Like he has that he has the ability to bring the best out of players, but what the issue is his batting, his strike rate. Like his in test, we all know he comes at 5, and we all of them defends that he doesn't get the time to make the score century. Even he needs to contribute more to the team with the bat also. Like, yeah, he's a good person. Like he's a team man, but that is not what is all needed. Like in the professional cricket, you need to rotate the strike, and his running between the wicket, he was too slow in the 3 matches that we played. He wasn't up to the mark. So as a batsman, he needs to up his game. There is no question about that. Okay.
Yeah, Tim, I agree with everything that you said there. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. You were really very, very clear, and I agree with everything that you basically said there. We've been having that discussion as well. So thanks for coming on the show. Hope to see you soon. Okay, let's move on to the next caller. We try again, Azan. Azan, welcome to the show. What would you like to say? Hello? Hello? Okay, bye. Okay, welcome to the show, Werner. Good to see you, bro. What would you like to say? No, I'm just joking.
Always fun to chat after a trouncing, isn't it?
Oh
I
my
can
lord, the guy.
I can say that was utterly crap cricket
Wow.
from South Africa. Like, I'm not going to mince my words
nice.
about it. That was, yeah, it was tragic, really. There was no energy. They just didn't pitch up at all. It looked similar to the first match, but worse. It's like these guys were already on 1 foot on the plane to the IPL. A couple got maybe a few balls that bounced more, but most of them threw their wickets away. The bowlers then came out like they already knew the game was lost. So all around, just so poor. I don't even have a lot of words, but I do agree with what Timothy said. With most of what he said is similar to what I was thinking and was going to talk about, and then he said it, so I don't really have to talk about it that much. So good work, Timothy. I think we all do agree with what you said. I did say before, well, I think it was after the first match, what Aditya also brought up the fact that Faf still hasn't retired from ODIs. The fact that Yeah, I also agree. It's strange to me that George Linde isn't in this squad. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'd like someone like Tristan Stubbs at least around the squad, even if you give him the Ryan Rickleton treatment. That's what I'm going to start calling it now, the Ryan Rickleton treatment. Get him in the squad and just have him there, even if he doesn't play. He's just there, and then he gets sent back, and it gets called up again because someone else falls out. But as each man falls out, he still doesn't get a game. He's just there. So give Tristan Stubbs that treatment. At least he'll learn something within the environment. But I guess you probably rather not be in the environment where you lose so poorly. So I guess there are there are minor positives in life. What did you guys think? As I sit here and it's hard to put into words as a Protea fan when you see them lose for the first time against Bangladesh, and not taking nothing away from Bangladesh, who I thought were brilliant all series. And they definitely deserve to win the series. I'm just thinking about the test series, and we're playing at Durban, and we're playing at St. George's on slow turning pitches, and we don't have our first bowling attack. Just wondering how is it going to go, because I don't want to make a prediction.
I don't think anybody wants to make a prediction right now. At the moment, we are. I mean, we were like, I can't reiterate it even like further, like how poor we were. I mean, I think I get the most upset when the team doesn't turn up and doesn't put in a performance. When they, like for Mark Boucher to say they were asleep, or what did they say? What is his exact words, Aditya?
Yeah, he did say the team was asleep. That there was no intent,
Exactly. So
fear of failure, all of that stuff.
And makes me
Yeah,
think
like, I
of
mean,
that joke. No, sorry, you can finish. No, it lets me think about that joke about I want to die like my grandfather peacefully in his sleep, not like the passengers in the back seat.
No, man. I literally don't understand how you can put on a performance like this and get away with it. Like, it makes. I don't understand, really. I've got another caller waiting for us in the back end. We've got Mask Boy waiting for us. Has he told us his name yet? I'm not sure. Welcome to the show, Mask Boy. What would you like to say?
Well, tell us your name first.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
How's it?
My
What's
name
your real
is,
name?
you can say, you can say,
I can't
Hello.
hear you. You're breaking up quite a bit. Hello?
hello,
Hello? Yes?
hello. Can you hear me?
I
We
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
now.
I don't think it's meant
just
for you to say your name, so you can just go on.
Okay. I just want to make a statement that after today's match, which was obviously a very big match, it was very rare to see South African batting department failing in all three sections, whether they are openers or middle orders or finishers. Don't you think that today's batting collapse was worst collapse in ODIs for South Africa in past few years? And what they could do in future to avoid collapses like these in big matches?
Okay, cool. I will answer your questions now, Moss. But thanks a lot for coming on the show and asking us your questions. We will answer it now. Hope you're in the live chat. I felt like I was like a religious speaker there, with that question, the way you asked me that question. Like, I don't know if you see those videos on YouTube when people stand up and they ask questions to the so-called Messiah, and he answers all their religious questions that they have. Like, I felt like that right now.
I just think that boy shouldn't be unmasked. I think we should keep that name. Let's keep it a mystery on the show. What his name is. Let's just
Yes.
call him Mask Boy. It sounds good.
Okay,
You know
awesome.
you love Marvel stuff, don't you, Khalid?
Yes, I love it. I like it. I love it too much. And also, it creates a nice Easter egg. We can all try and discover what Moss Boy's real name is, and we can all guess it in the live chat. And when we hit 50,000 subscribers, when we hit 10,000 subscribers, then we're gonna reveal who Moss Boy really is.
Small goals, small goals.
Okay, let's talk about that. Moss Boy had some excellent questions. Aditya, I mean, maybe it's because it's fresh in my mind right now. To me, it did feel like that. I mean, I knew we shouldn't go into the series confident, as confident as we were. I was just sitting there and I was just like, oh, Yeti, don't say 3-0. Please don't. No, nobody must say it. And then they said it. And that was the problem. I mean, they could have been confident without saying it. I think that would have added more fire to Bangladesh's belly at the moment, because they came into the series also with a little bit of issues on their own. Shakib Al Hassan not is he playing? Is he not playing? All of those type of things. And yet they still came through and they performed well. So they need to get the props for everything that they achieved. Well done to them. Guys, please smash the like button. 46 people streaming live at the moment. Please, I want to see 40 plus likes on this video at the end of it, please, guys. So get involved. So, Richa, let's from your perspective, do you feel that this was the worst collapse that South Africa has faced?
I mean, if there was something that was worse than this, I don't want to think about it even. I want to think about this one because I don't care if South Africa performed worse in the past. The performance today is just unacceptable. And for a team that defeated India 3-0 just a couple of months ago, you have to have, like, I think here's my problem, right? You look at whether it's the test team or the white ball team, it's like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. It's like you have this incredible series victory against India, and then you're 95 all out to New Zealand. Similarly, you beat India 3-0, and then you lose 2-1 to Bangladesh. So so I don't know what to make of it. There is a consistency issue then, and this time around, South Africa can't attribute the lack of performance to the lack of match practice or things like that, because they have been playing cricket fairly consistently for the last month or two. So, it would be wrong to say that. But I think my question to you guys is that, do you think this is going to have some sort of bearing on the test team? Because the test team is going in fairly inexperienced, particularly the bowling. And typically when you have this sort of an upset, it does tend to spill over into other formats also.
I think personally, in the past, from my experience and what I've viewed in the past, they haven't been interchangeable necessarily. I haven't necessarily seen a test team take momentum into a one-day series and necessarily vice versa. I've always heard from the camp that the camp felt differently. Like I remember around about the time when we played England at home, or no, Australia at home, and I think it came after we lost this test series. I can't remember where it was, but it came afterwards, and then they spoke about how the camp felt completely different. But that's because the ODI team, generally speaking, a lot of the personnel were different. But I think that in this particular series, the core group of players that are leaving are not involved in the tests. It's only Temba Vabuma and Rassi van der Dussen that would have been, and KG Rabada, Lungingiri, those guys that are all going to play IPL. It's only Temba out of them that is going to come through, and Calvarena. From a IPL perspective, the only guys that are going to be missing, that are going to probably be playing in the test matches. So at least we will have a fresh majority of the team will be fresh, because and in this particular team, so I don't think it will pass over. We have different problems in the test arena than we have in the white ball arena. Now, I don't know why we can't keep the same template that we have found at T20 cricket, because I thought that towards the end of the T20 World Cup, we started finding this nucleus in the team. Why we can't keep a similar nucleus in the one-day internationals is beyond me. Why they can't keep a consistency with regards to cementing the senior players' positions in the side first, and then the youngsters can be shuffled around. I think that's how we should be working with this team, because at the moment it should be 3 Bavuma, 4 Van der Dussen, and then the youngsters can work around them, and 5 should be David Miller. That should be your top 5, and then they can experiment with the 6th position a little bit, and maybe give a youngster an opportunity if they really want to. But they really need to come to a conclusion and understand. Also, Yanama needs to find a way on how to help Quentin de Kock as a partnership, because I think that when Yanaman is performing the way he is and struggling to get runs, he puts pressure on Quinny. If Quinny doesn't face enough balls, he goes into a little bit of a, they call it a dwell in our language. Um, he kind of goes he goes into space. He floats into space a little bit. Or it feels like he kind of loses concentration and just loses his wicket like he did today. So they need to find a synergy and a way to perform regularly as an opening partnership. It's the same issue we have in the top order in the test arena. That opening partnership need to find that synergy too. And I think if we can sort that out, a lot of our problems will be sorted out. Because when we don't get a good start, we start struggling and falling apart. So let's just get your thoughts, Werner, your final thoughts, Werner, before we move on.
Final thoughts before you move on. You're going to kick me off. I guess it's
Nah,
fair. I did call in. No, so in terms of it carrying over to the test team, I think the good thing is that we have a captain whose his only focus is tests. He doesn't play ODIs, he doesn't play T20s, he doesn't play IPL. So I think that's a good thing, and he's going to front up and say he's not going to take any nonsense. He's not going to take any mediocrity, and they're probably going to ask him in pre-match interviews about the ODI series and how does that affect the test team. And he's going to say it doesn't affect him or the team at all because it's a different format. He's a different captain. They've done well recently, so it won't affect them. And I don't think it should really, though I do expect the pitches to be favorable to Bangladesh. And I think what will be brought over is confidence for the Bangladeshis. I think they're going to come into the test series, even though it is a different format, with a lot of confidence. And something I saw recently is that their test players, especially their test batters, have been in the country for a while now, and they've been training at the Gary Kirsten Cricket Club. So they're really reaping in the South Africans to prepare for the series, because they had Russell Domingo, Alan Donald, Obi Morkel, and now they're training at Gary Kirsten's cricket academy. So they're really doing the right things and preparing the right way, and I think they'll come at us hard in the test series as well. And I think it's going to be a real test. Though we should be winning it, I won't make any predictions because I don't know if we will necessarily, especially with a newish bowling attack. I think a lot is going to come down to the combination of Maharaj and Harmer in the end. I think those two will probably end up being our main weapons with the ball. So it'll be interesting to see how it will go. It's still when they start next week, Thursday, I think. So some time to reflect on the ODI series for those who were involved. Bavuma, who did you say was also? It's Temba and who else? Who's part of the test
Temba
team?
and Kyle.
Temba and Kyle, yeah. Luckily, Kyle had a great last test match against New Zealand. Bavuma has been in good form test-wise of late. Although he didn't have a big series against New Zealand, but he has been looking good, at least in the test format. So I don't think there will be too much negative force brought into the test series, though I do think Durban and St. George's is going to have their own tricks. And these pitches at Supersport Park and the Wanderers have not really amazed me, to be honest. It's
Not at
getting
all.
worse.
Yeah.
It's fine if it's a slower wicket and it's the same throughout the match or whatever the case may be, but the uneven bounce is really something that's bothering me. Why are pitches being prepared this way now? How does it change that much in 5-6 years? I mean, we had that AB de Villiers pink day in 2015, right? That's 7 years ago. What happened from there to now that you have pitches, and we also in that series had big totals at Supersport Park. So what happened from that time till now, except for a change in groundsman, that we see pitches now being up and down from the first over? One is coming through at head height, one is going through at knee height, but it's pitched at the same spot. So that's something that bothers me. It's not an excuse for how we played, but just it's not good, especially for a limited overs match, to have that. Batters want to go out and entertain the crowd. They want to be able to play their shots. The bowlers then use their skills, their slower balls, their Yorkers, good fielding to get the batters out. But you don't want a match where the batters are uncertain the whole time of what they're going to get. So I'd like to see a bit of an improvement in the pitches, to be honest.
Yeah, like that's definitely something I want to see, because they made it extremely difficult to see entertaining games. We wanted to see, like, teams go at it, playing entertaining cricket, close chases. I don't know. That it hasn't been the best of pitches everywhere around the country. It's been a problem. So let's wait and see what the test has to offer. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Aditya, you want to say anything before we say bye?
The sun will shine again tomorrow, lads. Sleep well.
I hope so. We are going to.
If only England could use that excuse, or could use that term more regularly.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be sitting literally through sunrise to tomorrow morning. So hopefully there's going to be something to smile about.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
let's go support the Protea ladies. Hopefully they do us proud and beat the West Indies and book themselves a semi-final spot.
At least we can see clear strategies in the women's team.
And there we have some proper all-rounders.
Yeah.
We need a Marizan Cup type of all-rounder in the men's team.
Yeah, well, 100%. But that mentality, that BMT, gee was like, I don't know, man. I think they just need to do things a little different. They need to do things a little bit differently to what they're currently doing. Just find the ways on how to maintain consistency and work out different etc. All of those type of things. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I do see someone saying that our shows are too short and we must have longer shows. Well, if you get involved with the Patreon account and you start getting involved with super chats and all of those type of things, maybe we will provide you with longer shows. That could happen down the line. We do an hour show, around about an hour show every single day. We try to do. And a longer show on a Sunday evening. So yeah, we will try to get you more content out there. Get involved with the super chat. Get involved with the Patreon if you want to see more. Please go ahead and do so. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine. And we will see you guys again tomorrow with another episode. Why is it still doing that? Is it still going?
I will remember to subscribe. You can stop punching me with that sign.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on. It's the whole thing. This is why as soon as I go into the hour mark, everything starts crazily going on crazy over. You have to refresh the whole browser again. So I don't know what's going on. But guys, we'll see you again tomorrow with another daily show. Hopefully we can talk about the women's success in the game against the West Indies. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.